This was the most perverted invention of Japanese soldiers during World War II. 8 Korean soldiers carried a wooden plank, and the Japanese officer stomped his foot. The soldiers beneath the plank started running desperately forward. Even under pounding wind and rain, they could only grit their teeth, splash through the mud, and carry the officer all the way back to camp. These Korean men had been forcibly drafted into the Japanese army, and on top of facing death in battle, they were constantly humiliated by Japanese officers. They did not dare fight back and could only swallow the abuse. Then the opportunity for retaliation finally arrived. In 1939, the Battle of Nomonhan erupted. After Japan provoked the Soviet Union in Outer Mongolia, Zhukov's Soviet First Army rolled in with 500 tanks and surrounded the Japanese forces. When the tightly packed Soviet armor came into view, the Japanese officers were dumbfounded. Against that kind of tank formation, they could only send out suicide squads with explosives strapped to their bodies, crawling beneath the tanks. Even that failed to change the result of the battle. As more Soviet reinforcements poured in, frightened Japanese soldiers started falling back. Infuriated officers pulled their pistols and opened fire on the men trying to flee. According to incomplete statistics, 600,000 Japanese and Korean soldiers were taken prisoner. The Soviets loaded them onto trains and hauled them off to the freezing prison camps in Siberia. In temperatures as low as -40 degrees Celsius, the Japanese soldiers not only faced retaliation from the Korean soldiers, but also the Soviets' own harsh treatment. With prisoners everywhere, the Japanese had to chop wood and build their own barracks. To make control easier, the Soviets promoted the long-oppressed Korean soldiers and had them oversee the Japanese. After 30 years of living under Japanese oppression, those Korean soldiers finally got their chance to strike back. They vented all of that anger on the Japanese soldiers.